Hi, it's Deb from Deb's Days. It's Tutorial Tuesday, and today we're going to make a candy corn trick-or-treat bag. The finished size is approximately 13 inches by 18 inches, so it's plenty big for trick-or-treating. Along with your regular sewing supplies, for this project you will need a lining fabric, I'm using muslin, some yellow fabric, orange fabric, white fabric, a product called Heat and Bond. It's a sewable variety. You'll need some double fold bias tape in yellow. You'll need some pinking shears and a rotary cutter, matching thread of course, ironing surface, and you'll need to download the templates. A link to the exact measurements, the supply list, and the pattern is in the description right below this video. First, print out the templates. You should have 2 printed pages of the yellow piece, 2 of the orange piece, and 1 of the white. Go ahead and cut out that white template. Go ahead and cut out the orange templates. We're going to need to tape these together. After you've cut them out, flip one of the orange templates over, and then butt them up against each other, and then tape them together. Do the same with the yellow templates. Cut them, flip one of them, place the edges together, and tape them. Now, following the directions on your Heat and Bond packaging, iron the Heat and Bond to the wrong side of each of the fabrics of the same size. So the 11-inch by 20-inch piece of Heat and Bond we're using will go on the yellow fabric, the 11 by 27 onto the orange, the 7 by 7 onto the white. When I use the Heat and Bond, I cut about 1/4 of an inch off of it all the way around. What that does is it gives me a little wiggle room in case my fabric cuts are a little bit off. Since the Heat and Bond sticks to things, if it's even just a little teeny tiny bit bigger than your fabric, it's going to stick to your ironing surface. So better safe than sorry. Let all the pieces cool. Now trace the white template onto the paper side of the Heat and Bond white fabric piece. Go ahead and cut that out. Now on the orange piece that has the Heat and Bond adhered to it, fold that in half with the paper side facing up. Go ahead and place your orange template on the fold and then trace. While you still have that fabric folded, go ahead and cut along those drawn lines. When using that Heat and Bond fabric piece, hold firmly onto the fabric. It can shift easily when cutting on the lines and you could wind up with 2 sides not matching up. So hold on to it nice and tight. Do the same for the yellow fabric. Fold it, trace it, hold it nice and tight, and cut it. Now peel off the paper backing from the Heat and Bond. You're going to have a main fabric side with a shiny side underneath. Place your lining fabric right side down, wrong side up, on your ironing surface. Place your candy corn fabrics on top of the lining with the shiny sides of the Heat and Bond facing down. Overlap the pieces 1/4 inch or so. Starting with the white, continuing to the orange, and finishing with the yellow, iron the pieces onto the wrong side of the lining fabric. Again, be sure to follow the directions on the Heat and Bond packaging. Let that cool. Then go ahead and cut off the extra lining fabric around that candy corn piece. I use a rotary cutter for a more accurate cut. The ruler works great for the sides. At the rounded top, I just use the yellow portion of the fabric as my guide. Now secure the overlapping fused edges by stitching near the edge of the fabric. You can stitch using a straight stitch or a designer stitch and some matching thread. If you want to add additional decorative stitching to any part of the bag, this is the time to do it before we sew it together. Add the bias tape to the end where the opening will be, that's the yellow end, and top stitch near the edge. Now place right sides of the fabric together and then pin or clip it to hold it into place. Make sure you're matching the seams. Then stitch the sides together using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Use pinking shears to cut 1/4 inch away from that stitching. So between the cut line and the stitching line, use your shears to cut in that area. Now turn the bag right side out. You may need to spend some time on that white end to get it to form a rounded point. I used a closed pair of scissors to push down into the tip. Set the bag aside and grab the 2 pieces of 3" by 16" fabric for the handles. Fold both ends of one of those pieces of the fabric in just 1/4 inch and press it. Fold the fabric in half lengthwise and press. Then open the fabric back up. Now fold both the top and bottom of the length of fabric to meet that middle pressed line. And then press that. And then fold the entire strip over again one more time and press one more time. And do the same with the other handle. Top stitch around each of the handles using 1/8 inch seam allowance. Now center the ends of the handles over the seam so they hang just past the bias tape, about 1/2 inch or so, and sew the handle to the bag. What I've done is I've sewn over the top of my previous top stitching when I attached the handle. Then I completed a rectangle by just sewing across. And to make it even more secure, I sewed an X inside that rectangle. Do the same with the other handle on the other side of the bag. And that's it. You have a decorative trick-or-treat bag. If you'd like to see more craft projects like this one, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And stop by the blog at debsdays.com. See you next week with another project.